What's good, lunatics? Now, I'm not a girl gamer. I don't know if you knew this, but I wanted to take a look at some excellent games to buy a girl gamer according to girl gamers. You see, researchers over at Quantic Foundry took a survey of nearly 50,000 people who identified as female and came up with a list of genres that women and girls favored the most. So what I did is I took the top genres that these girl gamers love and found some of the best games in those genres to share with you guys. Obviously, girl gamers, just like boy gamers, aren't a monolith. That's why it's super important that no matter who you're buying games for, you take into account the type of person that they are. I know there's a ton of girl gamers that love shooters, love sports games, RTS, and things like racing games, but according to Quantic Foundry's research, they represented a very, very small minority of the 50,000 females who participated. So this list is going to be focused on the genres that most of the girl gamers were interested in. But feel free to criticize the research in the comment section and let us know what your favorite games are and what you think should have been included. I'm just personally trying to help people find good games. So let's start with the most popular genre amongst girl gamers. Fun fact, it's actually one of my favorite genres as well. About 2/3 of the girl gamers research were huge fans of casual puzzle and match games. I'm gonna start off with Clubhouse Games 51 World Classics. Now this is a collection of tabletop games that include everything from checkers to Mancala, to poker, to chess, to slot cars, to dominoes, and a whole lot more. There's local play and online mode where you can play against people from around the world. With my wife and her sister, I've put in over 100 hours into this game. It gets a huge recommendation from me. Another great game to check out is Puyo Puyo Tetris. This is a puzzle game crossover between the Puyo Puyo series and the legendary Tetris franchise. You can play traditional Tetris or Puyo Puyo, but the real challenge and the real fun is playing both at the same time. Of course, you can play against the computer up to 4 people locally or online. It's a fun time for sure. I really enjoyed the game. Another must-have though is Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. Now this is a game where you control Captain Toad and Toadette and you navigate through obstacles trying to reach a gold star at the end of each level. You kind of use the camera to view around your world, revealing hidden areas and bonus items. Also, you can't jump in this game at all, so this forces you to strategize your movements. It's a lighthearted game with dozens of hours of gameplay. I definitely recommend it. Usually I leave links below to all the games on my list, but this time around I'm gonna do you one better. Every single game that I talk about today, every single one, are all available for much cheaper with my homies over at GameFly. Now, some of you know about them. If you don't, they're a video game rental service with over 8,000 games in their library. And through my link in the description, you can get up to 2 games per month for only $9.95 per month for the first 3 months. That's a dope deal. They carry a ton of Nintendo Switch titles and have games for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and even consoles as old as PS2. Fam, they even have DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K movies, and they'll be carrying PS5 and Xbox Series X games as well. What's dope is with the 2 game option, you can always have like a game in rotation and you'll be saving a hell of a lot of money. Listen, if you were to buy just 2 of the games that I mentioned here today, you'd be spending up to $120. But if you rent those 2 joints at my link on your first month with GameFly, you're only spending $9.95. And with talks of some next gen games starting at $70, GameFly just really makes a lot of sense right now. Now again, this deal is only available through the link in my description below, so make sure to take advantage of that now, and a big thanks to GameFly for sponsoring this video. Another thing I learned in their research is that girl gamers, just like boy gamers, are big fans of RPGs, but what's interesting is that girl gamers tend to be way more interested in fantasy RPGs versus futuristic or sci-fi RPGs. So a few great games to check out: Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, which are open world action RPGs. I'm talking great story-driven gameplay, vast worlds to explore, literally hundreds of hours of content available through the main story and side quests. Honestly, you can jump into either game first and be fine, but I personally enjoyed the original more, while Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is clearly the better looking of the 2, having, come out 7 years later. Another RPG to consider is Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness, and the Secret Hideout. This revolves around a girl who is simply bored with her surroundings. So with her friends, she finds an abandoned rowboat and voyages to the mainland where she learns alchemy and begins her many quests. It is an overall great game and definitely one you should check out. Then there's the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, which is an action RPG. The main story revolves around you on your quest to defeat a dragon who is prophesized to destroy the world. But honestly, you could get so lost in this world that you spend hundreds of hours doing side quests and exploring and upgrading your character. If you love this kind of exploratory freedom, you'll definitely enjoy this game. But now let's talk about family cooking and farm simulation games. This is tied with casual puzzle and match games as girl gamers' favorite genre. And of course, I couldn't do this list without talking about an absolute must-have game on Nintendo Switch, and that's Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is a game where you pretty much curate your own island with a bunch of weird little animal friends. You gather and you craft items, you catch insects and fish, and customize your island in nearly endless ways. It's all about letting your creativity run wild. You can visit other people's islands, trade items, and invite people to see what you've put together. It is pure fun. Also, Rune Factory 4 Special is another great game. It's a farming adventure game. You grow crops, raise monsters, catch fish, cook up dishes, and craft powerful equipment. You become friends or even more than friends with a cast of characters and take part in seasonal festivals and a bunch of different competitions. Also, definitely check out Overcooked 2. This is a co-op cooking simulation game. You chop and cook ingredients, combine them on plates, and serve them on dishes on a conveyor belt. There's a lot of coordination involved, and you can often bump into other players, causing things to get crazy pretty quickly. Some levels have moving floors and portals and impassable fires. I thoroughly enjoy it. Oh yeah, and a quick disclaimer, this video took me a hell of a long time to make and research, so if you appreciate me sharing this with you guys, make sure to smack the hell out of that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm and helps this video surface to more people who may be interested in it. And in return, as a gift to you, I will smack the hell out of your like button when you leave a comment down below. And oh yeah, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe down below and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, another one of the most popular genres amongst girl gamers are storytelling and interactive adventures. These are games that are far less about engaging in combat and button mashing. They allow you to make choices that dictate how the game unfolds, often with numerous different endings. Let's start with an amazing little adventure in the game Oxenfree. Here you take on the role of a teenage girl named Alex who's on a weekend trip on this local island, and after some weird supernatural events, Alex and her friends work to discover the secrets of the island. It is a brilliant little game that I wish was a bit longer, but the story is fantastic and I love the music and the art direction as well. And you can't be a fan of storytelling games and not play Telltale's The Walking Dead. It starts like the comet with an epidemic that turns the dead into the zombie-like walkers. It focuses on Clementine, who is a young girl found alone by Lee Everett. Lee helps to teach Clementine how to survive, and I don't really want to spoil it, but we're talking about hours and hours of really good storytelling here. I definitely recommend it. But if you want something a little bit more lightweight, check out Minecraft Story Mode, which is based on the Minecraft game franchise. It centers around a character named Jesse as they and their allies attempt to save their world by defeating the Wither Storm. Now, if you didn't know, platformers are another genre girl gamers love. And you can't talk about platforming games on Nintendo Switch and not talk about one of the most popular games on the console itself. That is Super Mario Odyssey, a must-have in any collection. You play as Mario with your friend Cappy, who helps you control other characters and objects throughout various worlds. It's a standard affair of saving Princess Peach and defeating Bowser, but the level designs are fantastic, and the addition of Cappy adds a whole new dynamic and layer of fun. If you're looking for something more of a challenge, check out Celeste. This unforgiving game is one of my favorites. You take control of Madeline as she makes her way up Celeste Mountain while avoiding deadly obstacles. Madeline suffers from depression and panic attacks, and she's forced to face and overcome her inner demons. It's got a wonderful story, but man, this game gets hard, yo. I'm talking make you pull out your hair hard. Like, how do you think I got bald? Another brilliant game is Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. It's a 2D side scroller with an old school 8-bit art style. You collect treasure and fight against the Order of No Quarter. Treasure Trove is a collection of 3 other campaigns in the series and also a fighting game. It's literally hours and hours of content, often considered one of the best games of all time. So definitely give it a look-see. Another favorite genre amongst girl gamers are survival roguelike games. These are games usually with dungeon crawling, procedurally generated levels, and permadeath. One of my absolute favorite games in this genre is Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda. Now, this right here is a rhythm roguelike video game. It's a spin-off and crossover of Crypt of the Necrodancer with The Legend of Zelda characters. You play primarily as Link or Zelda, traveling across Hyrule to defeat the 4 champions, and of course, eventually to take down Ganon. It's a short, fun, and challenging adventure, and in my opinion, another must-have. Then there's this game called Moonlighter, where you follow the everyday routines of Will, who's an adventurous shopkeeper that dreams of becoming a hero. You journey to other realms and dimensions to get treasures that you use to sell, manage, craft, and fight with. You meet and make companions that can help you on your journey. It's a really, really well thought out game, and I'm a big fan of its art style. Also, check out Sparklight. This is a top-down adventure using a ton of gadgets, guns, and gears in a procedurally generated world. Here you play as Ada, and you're trying to take down titans of the mining industry and harness the power of Sparklight. Your job is to travel to each zone of the world with your companions to shut down a bunch of dig sites and save your little world. Also, look, this list is based on research of over 50,000 girl gamers, but of course, some people's preferences may be completely different. I know girl gamers who love Doom, boy gamers who love Overcooked. At the end of the day, a good game is a good game is a good game, regardless of who's more likely to play it. But I hope this was like a little helpful to some. If it was, I've got more like it. I also made a list of games specifically for kids under 10 years old. You can check that out right here. I even made a list of some games to play on like a date night, which you can check out right here. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember to stay crazy.